Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to another videos of solving eMRCS question. Here is the question. A 48 years old lady with end-stage renal failure receives a cadaveric renal transplant. The organ is ABO-matched only. On completion of the vascular anastomosis, the surgeon removed the clamp. Over the course of next 12 minutes, the donated kidney becomes dusty and swollen and appears on non-viable. Which of the following is the most likely process and has caused this event? Here's the important point we can see. A 48 years old lady with end-stage renal failure receives a cadaveric renal transplant. The organ is ABO grouped matched only. That means the HLA group didn't check there. On completion of the vascular anastomosis, when the surgeon removed the clamp, over the course of time, the next 12 minutes donated kidney becomes dusky, swollen and appears non-viable. So within few minutes, within 12 minutes, so it is on the operation table after removing the clamp. So here this time is very less, it's 12 minutes. It is the 12 minutes after the vascular clamp removed and it occurs in the operation table, and the donated kidney dusky swollen and appears non-viable. That means kidney is damaged. So what is the most likely cause? Here the options are IgG anti-HLA class 1 antibody in the recipient, IgM anti-HLA class 1 antibody in the recipient, IgG anti-HLA class 1 antibody from the donor, and IgM anti-HLA class 1 antibody from the donor, IgM anti-HLA class 2 antibody from the recipient. So we have to find out one of the option which is responsible for this graft failure which occurs during the operation table and 12 minutes after the clamp removal. So here first of all we discuss about the rejection, hyperacute, acute and chronic rejection. Here first of all hyperacute rejection, it occurs during operation table. Acute rejection, it occurs within the first 6 months of the transplantation, and chronic rejection or chronic graft failure, it occurs after 6 months, of the transplantation. So hyperacute it occurs during operation table and it occurs due to antibody against donor HLA type 1 antigen. That means antigen present in the donor kidney but antibody present in the recipient body, antibody in the recipient body and HLA antigen in the donor kidney. So it's rarely seen in HLA machine. Then acute graft failure or acute rejection, it occurs within the first 6 months of transplantation and it usually occurs due to mismatch HLA. Mismatch HLA. Other causes include cytomegalovirus so infection. So here this point is important because within the 6 month or acute graft failure, the infection is very important, and that is cytomegalovirus infection. The management usually giving steroid. If steroid fail, then or resistant, then monoclonal antibody can be used. And causes of chronic graft failure that occurs after 6 months of the transplantation, and it is caused by chronic allograft nephropathy and ureteric obstruction, and another cause of infection that is Epstein-Barr virus. Epstein-Barr virus. So in acute rejection, infection is important, that is cytomegalovirus, and in case of chronic rejection and infection is very important, that is Epstein-Barr virus. And the recurrence of the original disease are some cause of the chronic graft rejection and most common in mesenteric-capillary glomerulonephritis, IgA nephropathy and focal segment glomerulosclerosis. So here we can see hyperacute rejection is due to preform antibody ABO mismatch is the best example, but IgG, NT, HLA class 1 antibody are another potential cause. These events are now seen less due to cross-matching before transplantation, and this event is gradually decreasing due to screening against ABO antigen and HLA antigen usually match before operation. And here we can see it occurs during the operation table, but in the operation table, but the antibody is IgG. Why? This point is very important, because it occurs very short time during the operation table. So in short time, we know that in short time the antibody responsible for IgM, we know that during an infection or following an infection within the past few days or within the time, there is past antibody is IgM. But why it is IgG? Because this IgG is from long time ago in the recipient body, and it present over time. So as the long time present in the body, it is IgG of the recipient body. It is not IgM, because IgM form immediately, but this antibody, it is preform antibody, so it is long time present. As long time antibody, this is IgG antibody, but IgM antibody is short time, as it is form in the recipient body and it presents longer time, so it is IgG. So our final answer is, so here our final answer is IgG anti-HLA class 1 antibody in the recipient, because though it occurs during the operation table, during the first 12 minutes in the operation table, but these antibody not form within this 12 minutes. These antibody present longer time in the recipient body. It is from a long time ago. So our answer is IgG1 antigen in the antibody in the recipient, because antigen present in the donor kidney and antibodies present in the recipient. Here we can see another option, antibody from donor but not antibody. Here there is antigen. In case of donor it is antigen, and it can, in case of recipient, it is antibody. Thank you all.